so welcome back again. The Lakers made another quiet move that won't be too much in the headlines, but it's a beautiful move for them. All right, so let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. The Lakers have quietly made another move that might not dominate the headlines like a blockbuster trade, but don't let that fool you whatsoever. The Lakers have officially signed former lottery pick Zaire Williams to a 1-year, $3 million deal, right? And this is exactly the kind of low-risk, high-upside move that championship contenders should be making. So at first glance, some fans might look back at this signing and think it's just another depth piece, right? But when you really break it down, what Zaire Williams brings, how this Lakers roster is built, and what this coaching staff wants to accomplish, you start to realize this move could end up being much more important than people expect, right? So today we're going to break it down. Who Zaire Williams is, why the Lakers targeted him, how he'll fit into the rotation, and whether this signing actually moves Los Angeles closer to winning another championship. All right, who is Zaire Williams? For those who haven't been following his career too closely, Zaire Williams entered the NBA with a lot of expectations, right? He was the 10th overall pick in the 21 NBA draft, coming out of Stanford after being one of the nation's top high school prospects. At 6'9", long wingspan, athleticism, and smooth scoring ability, scouts believed he had all the tools to become the modern NBA wing, right? When you think of a Mikal Bridges, a Kawhi Leonard, modern type build, right? His career hasn't exactly gone according to plan, but he spent his first few seasons in Memphis before being traded to Brooklyn, where he finally started showing flashes of becoming a reliable role player, right? Last season with the Nets, he averaged 10 points per game. That's a career high. Shooting 34% from three-point range. Those numbers aren't exactly eye-popping, but they represent steady growth from a player who's still just 24 years old, mind you. So the Lakers aren't signing a finished product, right? They're betting that there's still another level and it's just waiting to be unlocked under the right circumstances, right? They're betting that there's still another step to be made. So why did the Lakers make this move? One thing became very clear during last season. The Lakers needed more wings, right? You can never have enough athletic defenders who can guard multiple positions, run the floor, and knock down open shots. And that's exactly the archetype Williams fits, right? 6'9", moves well, and can defend both guards and forwards. He can switch multiple positions as well. Perhaps more importantly, he doesn't need the basketball in his hands to make an impact, right? You have Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves. You're not going to get much of the ball anyway. But on a team with stars handling most of the offensive creation, that's incredibly valuable. The Lakers didn't need another player averaging 20 points. They needed someone who could fill gaps, someone who could defend, someone who could finish in transition, someone willing to attack closeouts, right? Someone who could develop into another reliable playoff rotation player. And Williams checks every one of those boxes. The Lakers are betting on development, right? This might actually be my favorite part of the signing. For years, we've watched organizations like Miami, OKC, Toronto consistently take talented players who struggle somewhere else and help them unlock another level. The Lakers appear to believe Zaire Williams could be the next reincarnation of this archetype player, right? So if you think about it, he's still young. He's still younger than many recent draft picks. He's already played meaningful NBA minutes. He's experienced playoff basketball, and he's entering an environment focused on winning instead of rebuilding like the Brooklyn Nets, right? Sometimes that's exactly what a young player needs. Instead of trying to prove he can become the franchise cornerstone, Williams can simply focus on becoming an elite role player. That shift alone can completely change a player's career trajectory. And so when we try to find out how he fits on the roster, right? This fit is actually cleaner than most people realize. Offensively, Williams won't be asked to create every possession, right? Instead, he'll spend most of the time running the fast breaks, cutting behind defenders, spacing the floor, attacking closeouts, finishing above the rim. That's where he thrives, right? So defensively is where this signing becomes even more valuable, because the NBA playoffs are won by versatile defenders, right? Every postseason, you're constantly searching for players who can switch onto multiple positions without completely breaking down your defensive scheme. And Williams gives the Lakers another long, athletic, capable defender, capable of matching up against one of the league's bigger wings, right? That's something championship teams simply just can't have enough of, especially in this age of guards in the Western Conference, the Vassels, the Foxes, the Shays, the Jalen Williams. That you just can't have enough of that type of player. So he complements the rest of the team as well. Championship basketball is all about putting complementary pieces around your stars. Every player doesn't need to average 25 points. Sometimes it's the player who scores 8 points while guarding the opponent's best wing for 35 minutes that ends up deciding a playoff series, right? Williams has the physical tools to become exactly that kind of player. So imagine him, coming off the bench with fresh legs while defending elite scorers. Imagine him grabbing rebounds and immediately pushing the pace. Imagine him creating transition opportunities simply through those hustle plays, right? Those possessions add up over the course of an 82-game season. And even more importantly, they matter even more in May and in June. So the biggest question mark. Now, to be fair, there are still concerns. Consistency, that's been the biggest issue throughout his career. One night he'll look like a future All-Star. The next he'll look like he's disappearing offensively, right? His three-point shot has improved, but opposing defenses still won't treat him like an elite shooter until he proves he can consistently knock down these open looks, right? So decision making is another area that still needs refinement, right? Sometimes he forces difficult shots. Sometimes he overthinks simple reads. The Lakers coaching staff will be working hard to simplify his role. And again, he has Luka Doncic, he has Austin Reeves. He's not going to be doing too much to begin with. But if they can eliminate some of those mistakes, his natural talent becomes much easier to maximize, right? So, championship move. Championship teams aren't only built through superstar trades, right? They're built through smart depth signings. Every championship roster has players who outperform their contracts. You look at what's the gentleman's name off of OKC? I can't remember his name right now, but we all know he was traded from Philly. Traded from Philly for like a bag of chips. We don't know what happened there. But think back through NBA history, there's always role players who unexpectedly become huge contributors. Maybe they hit timely three-pointers. Maybe they defend an all-star. Maybe they completely change a playoff series with just energy and hustle, right? So the Lakers are hoping Zaire Williams becomes one of these players. And considering that this is only a $3 million one-year contract, the risk is incredibly small, right? If he doesn't develop, the Lakers move on. If he does, they may have found one of the biggest steals of free agency, right? So, will Zaire Williams become an all-star? More than likely not, right? But that's not what the Lakers are asking him to be. They're asking him to defend, run the floor, bring energy, use his athleticism, hit open shots. So all he needs to do is continue developing alongside a team with championship aspirations, right? So sometimes those are the exact players who end up making the biggest difference when the playoffs arrive. The Lakers continue adding length, youth, and athleticism to their roster. And if Williams takes another step forward this season, this signing could end up looking like one of the smartest under-the-radar moves of the entire offseason, right? Now, I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Zion Williams will become a key contributor for the Lakers this season? Or is he simply just another depth piece? Drop your thoughts down below.